Power shortages in Nigeria have pushed up manufacturing costs, making one of the world's largest frontier markets unattractive despite a population of 170 million. President Buhari's All Progressive Congress pledged in its manifesto to increase supplies from 3,600 megawatts currently to 20,000 megawatts within 4 years and 50,000 megawatts within 10 years, which would meet the demands of Nigerians. Figures released by the Nigeria Federal Ministry of Power on Saturday, the 9th of January 2016, revealed that peak generation in the country is 4,169.1 megawatts. The peak demand forecast is 12,800 megawatts. Energy generation is at 3,880.09 megawatts per hour. Energy sent out was 3,800.21 megawatts per hour, while the highest peak generated was 4,883.9 megawatts, and this was on November 23, 2015.
Government, they promise and they will not fulfill their promise. If they can do it, I will okay by that one. Because apart my neighbor, at times you start it, they will complaining, smoke and everything, all these things, them both will complaining. If they can provide that one, I think it's okay by me.
Nigeria broke up its monopoly on power generation and distribution by privatizing the sector, hoping to attract foreign investors. But lack of investment in gas pipelines and transmission lines still owned by government means the amount of power produced has stagnated at about half total capacity. A power conference held recently in Nigeria's commercial city sought to address the challenges being experienced by local markets, capacity building and investment. Technical workshops were held to offer practical solutions learned from case studies and problem-solving mechanisms to assist power companies and utilities in improving their efficiency and productivity. Despite holding the world's 7th largest gas reserves, Nigeria produces less than a tenth of the amount of electricity South Africa provides for a population a third of the size. Solving the problem would largely reduce business costs by up to 40% and push growth in Africa's biggest oil producer well into double digits.
Nigerians locally can invest. We have so much money in the hands of pension funds, in the hands of mutual funds, and several other funds where there's liquidity in the trillions of naira. And we keep saying there's no money in the power sector. We can get those funds to invest money in the power sector, right, with a payback period of X time. All right. Even in the rollout of meters, the government can also look to get funding or money from those funds, right, to help get meters into the hands of Nigerians.
Some $40 billion has gone into several power reform drives in the last 20 years. Much of it was wasted. A report released last year by power industry experts indicates that there is a potential for Nigeria to attract tens of billions of dollars of investment into the power sector, given the huge unmet demand from industry and the public. In Nigeria, only about 40% of the population has access to electricity supply. The national grid is limited in reach. There is limited extension of the grid to most communities, and it will take decades to reach most areas in Nigeria. This leaves a majority of Nigerians who live in most communities without access to electricity. Even the available electricity capacity is insufficient to meet existing power needs of the less than 40% who have access to the national grid. Currently, fuel wood accounts for over 50% of overall domestic primary energy consumption in the country and is the dominant source of energy in the domestic sector. It is also used in other sectors of the economy, such as cottage industries. Over the years, the fuel wood supply and demand imbalance in some parts of the country has adversely affected the economic well-being of the people. At the national level, increasing fuel wood consumption contributes to deforestation, with consequences for desertification and soil erosion. Even when adequate and diversified energy supply options in the country exist, the problem of unreliability of supply due to a lack of sufficient and efficient power generating capacities constitutes a huge drain on the national economy. This leads to energy insecurity and has constituted a major characteristic of the energy crisis experienced by the country over the last decade, especially with regards to the supply of electricity. The rural area, whose needs are often basic, depend on a large extent on traditional sources of energy, mainly biomass, used on inefficient appliances. This class of fuels constitutes over 50% of total energy consumption in the country. Fuel whose supply and demand imbalance in some parts of the country is now a real threat to the energy security of the rural communities. Efficiency in energy use bears the potential to meet demands better while reducing the consumption of scarce resources.
Energy efficiency is about putting up more renewable energy projects like the biofuel. We talked about like the solar energy, solar panels, putting solar panels on houses of people, even using solar energy to also do home chores like home heating, and including even small-scale industrialization at this point before it goes real mass scale. So these are some of them. And wind also has taken its own sail. In terms of wind energy, there are a whole lot. As you go around here, you find a whole lot of technologies already coming that will bring packets of renewable energy very close to consumer place.
Electricity supply in rural areas is largely non-existent, denying access to such things as lighting and refrigeration for almost half of the nation. For this reason, it has become a matter of necessity for exploitation and establishment of other energy resources to complement and supplement the limited power generation and supply available in Nigeria.